welcome. This is a 10-minute meditation on the breath and really utilizing the expansion and contraction of the rib cage, front, back, sides to facilitate a nice, healthy breath pattern. This is really beneficial for spinal stability and also pelvic floor health. So whenever we think about pelvic floor health, I always like to think of it as pressure management. And when one part of the system in our body is creating too much pressure, cannot handle the load of pressure, pressure has to go somewhere. And that causes all sorts of compensation patterns and wonkiness in the body. So in my yoga for the pelvic floor classes, I always start with the breath, because wherever the breath is limited for many different reasons, it impacts everything. So I begin with a 360-degree breath. And so when we think about the breath, we need the ribs to expand in all directions. And I don't love the term belly breathing or even diaphragmatic breathing. So all breathing is diaphragmatic breathing. So because the diaphragm is the muscle of inspiration, it draws the breath in as it drops down. And as you exhale, it's some of the abdominals that do a little bit more of that coming together. The serratus and the intercostals and some of these other smaller muscles help send the breath out and away. So thinking about this three-dimensional breath, I love my jointed ball because it's a really nice image. And so sitting up nice and tall, close the eyes. And then as you inhale, visualize the back ribs expanding. And sense into those back ribs expanding. And as you exhale, just a nice soft exhale, you might feel the sides of the waist draw in, the ribs draw in just a little bit. But we're not forcing the exhalation. Notice any tension in the jaw and let that go. And just focus in sensation in the back. And really feel those ribs expanding. There's more space in between the ribs. And as you exhale, they come together. There's a little muscle engagement there that creates the pressure to send the air out. So inhaling into the back, imagine those rib attachments at the spine becoming more spacious. And as you exhale, they come back together. So just visualizing and sensing into just the back body. And then we'll drop chin to chest and bring the breath again into the back body. So inhaling, really expand into the back ribs. And sometimes just this shape, lengthening some of those muscles in the back of the neck and upper back, can really help you feel that movement of the back ribs, the paraspinals. And sometimes just breathing into the back body with a little bit of a stretch can bring you a lot of relief to muscle tension. And then bring the head up, gaze forward. We'll bring the breath into the side body. So wrap your hands around and spread your fingers really wide. And just wherever they land is totally fine. And kind of press the fingers in a little bit. And then as you inhale, again, visualize those ribs expanding outward. Imagine that jointed ball. Feel the ribs come back to center. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And notice if right side or left side feels stickier. Notice if there's more sensation or more movement at the top part of those side ribs or at the bottom part. And again, there's no right or wrong. We're just getting the breath to expand laterally. And then we're going to accentuate that breath. So sitting up nice and tall, bring the right hand to the back of the head and tip over to get a side stretch. Bring the left hand right to the side ribs. 3 big breaths into the side body. Really get the breath to expand into the waist, into the side ribs. And then come back up. And then we'll go to the other side. So hand right to the back of the head, an opening here, and then side body stretch. You can bring the right hand across, making sure the head's not dipping forward, and really directing the breath. And then come back through center, sit up tall, and once again cross the hands around the ribs. And you might notice that there's a little bit more movement just after that stretching through the side body. And so when we loosen up some of those tissues, even for just 3 breaths, it gives the breath room to move. And when the breath has room to move, we're managing intra-abdominal pressure, spinal stability, pelvic floor stability, and strength. And then lastly, bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly, and see if you can get the breath to go all the way down into the hand that's on the belly, and then into the hand that's on the chest. And then exhale, belly, chest. Inhale, belly, chest. And exhale, chest, belly. One more time. And then bring the hands onto the knees or the shins, whatever works. We'll do a little seated cat and cow, and we'll do that same experiment, noticing what happens with a bit of movement, inhaling and exhaling to round. Inhaling, lean back over your chair, stretch. Exhale. Hey, Petra. Hey. Sorry about that. Round. One more time. And then hand to heart, hand to belly. And see if you notice a bit more movement. And then let the hands rest. And then find that 3-dimensional breath. Visualize that spherical ball starting from a very small place at the spine, inhaling in all directions. And exhaling, draw back to center. Inhaling into the back ribs and even into the low back. Inhaling into the side ribs and the sides of the waist, right above the hips. Inhaling into the sternum, front ribs, and all the way down to the low belly. Just do that a couple more times. And then let that go. And just notice as you go through the course of the day, like, where is your breath feeling sticky or limited? Are you just doing like shallow chest breathing or getting the shoulders to shrug the breath in and up? If you have a forward head posture, notice that the breath doesn't have anywhere to go. It just creates so much pressure. So my invitation to you is to just really always think about that three-dimensional breath with the sense of allowing expansion in all directions and then feeling yourself come to center. And it really is the foundation of pelvic floor health, is this 360-degree breath. Once we begin to feel that and create that through stretching, through movement, we can then build in some more robust practices specifically for the pelvic floor. And so join me in future sessions for some more of that.